Isaiah 6. First and foremost, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Hashai, Ba'ashim, Akafadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone, at the time of this truth. Another weekend, another week out, going into the prophecies of the scriptures and what is going to come. So, what you said about that boy Reuben, how he was heartbroken over his chick. What did he go into contact to that?
Nah, I like that. He said he's like, I wish I would have got heartbroken when I was younger. I was like, it's gonna be the same thing at the end of the day, bro. It don't matter.
Yeah.
You should learn your lesson quicker.
In fact, yes, he said he had no aura. It made me like realize that our people are in a destroyed state. You know. Let's see, Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6, it says, My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And that's the main point, is that our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Right? He probably doesn't know that his woman is supposed to be wicked, that his woman is supposed to double cross him, not be loyal, out here being a harlot in the street, as it says in Amos. He don't know none of that. So when his girl does it wrong, it's like, damn, bro, I don't know how she could ever do that to me. I don't know why she would ever leave me, you know? Because he doesn't have that knowledge. But ultimately, we were all at that point at one time. So maybe he needs the word. Maybe you're the guy that's supposed to give him the knowledge of how to act. Because, well, I feel like all of us were in that state, you know, of damn, like, just through, bro. Absolutely through in every single type of way. And you were looking for answers, you know, which ultimately you're looking for this. That's the real answer is you're looking for the truth, but you didn't know what it was. So right now, I feel like that's the state he's in, is looking for the truth.
Yeah.
But that scripture, going into the woman, says, marvel not. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and I'll start at verse 10. It says, verse 9. Yeah, this whole chapter going into the woman. But I'll start at verse 11. It says, start at verse 11, yeah. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. Right, so if your girl trespasses, does some out-of-pocket shit, right, don't be marveled by it. Right, because right now you're supposed to know that all these bitches ain't right. You know, all of them.
Don't take that shit personal.
Yeah, don't take it personal. Just know that those are the curses. It said in Amos, let's get that, the wife is going to be a harlot. Amos chapter 7 and verse 17, it says, Therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. So he told us way back that our wives were going to be harlots. She was a prostitute. She was going to be from man to man to man, and she was not going to give a fuck about you. So that's the knowledge that our people don't have. If he had that, he'd still be a little heartbroken, but he wouldn't be tripping the way he is right now. You know, he wouldn't be tripping. So it's a cold world. It's a cold world, but it goes back to the curses. Because Deuteronomy 28, that's all you need to know about the modern day America, modern day world. Deuteronomy 28, from verse 15 to verse 68, going into the curses. In verse 30, it says, Thou shalt betroth a wife. It says, Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Right, so you're gonna have a wife, betrothed, which means you're the first one that popped it, and another man is gonna be with you. It says that you're gonna build a house and you're not gonna dwell in that house. Who's doing that nowadays are people. They're the ones that build the houses, so-called Mexicans. Those are the primary ones.
Yeah.
Build their houses, but they're not living in the house because it's part of the curse. It says we are gonna gather grapes. What was that? It says we're gonna plant a vineyard and shall not gather the grapes thereof. That's going into labor. We're gonna labor, but not get the full reward, like full reaping. Because, and even when you go to like working a job, in the ancient days, the law is that if you work today, they're supposed to give you your money today. You work today, you get your money today. Nowadays, you work, you get your money 2 weeks later. That's wicked as fuck. A lot of us are in problems because that check doesn't hit until 2 weeks later. So if you got a bill on the 1st and you get paid on the 7th, you know, you stretched out money from 2 weeks ago. So let's go into these curses. That's what I was planning on doing. Right. So you're starting at verse 16. It says, "Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. The Lord Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly. Because of the wickedness of thy doings, about thou hast forsaken me." So it said that everything that we put our hand towards is going to be cursed. Now you see that a lot of the time in businesses. Like you try to do a business, try to do a move, shit don't work out. You're like, damn, like why is shit never working out for me? It's like I got a chip in my shoulder. It's like that on that Kendrick song. In the beginning, he's like, son, the reason you feel like you got a chip on your shoulder is because you under the curses. Our people are cursed people, right? And it says, and until we as a nation start following the commandments of the Lord, we're going to be in a slow, cursed state. And that's exactly what it is. The only way we're going to get out of these curses is when Yahweh Shai comes back. That's the only way. So, everything we're supposed to do, we do, majority of the time it's not going to work out. And that's another part of having knowledge. Let's see. It says, verse 28, "The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart." So being bugged out. Niggas out here in the streets, bugged out. Madness, blindness, not knowing how to lead their lives. Completely lost in the sauce. Astonishment of heart. So that nigga Ruben going, nigga astonished, he got heartbroken.
He can't believe it.
He can't believe it. And I remember that's the same thing that happened to me. Last chick did me, I never saw it coming. I'm like, damn. I'm like, damn, I thought she would never go leave. You know? I just never saw it coming. And that's when it hits the hardest, is when you never see it coming. That made me think of what King David said. He said that, let me actually get that. My equal went into how he was crossed. Psalms chapter 55 and verse 12. It says, "For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me, that did magnify himself against me, then I would have hid myself from him." So he was saying, it wasn't an enemy that did me wrong. Or else, if it was my enemy, you know, I would have been keeping it. Then he said, it wasn't somebody that hated me, or else I would have just hid myself from him. Then he said, "But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide and mine acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together, and walked into the house of God in company. Let death seize upon them, and let them go down quick into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them." So he said, the one that crossed me was a man mine equal. We used to fellowship, we used to go down to the temple together. His own brother crossed him, and that's the one he never saw coming, which really hurt him. So it's the same thing in everything. You get crossed by the person you least expected it from. And that's what really hurts. So let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's see what else right now. Get off the top that applies. 36. Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. And that's going into the scattering. How he said you were going to get scattered throughout all four corners of the earth to worship other gods. So that's why our people are worshiping Buddha or Islam or the white Catholic Roman Catholicism or I don't know, all these other religions is because it's a curse. We're going to be scattered. He was going to make us forget who we are, and we're going to worship other gods. So that's the complete form of pretty much abandonment. Imagine if you were a father and you had a son, and you went to go get some milk. You went to go get some milk. Now this child is growing up. Let's say he was a black dad, because that's what we would be doing. You want to go get some milk. Now the stepfather is a white boy. That nigga's gonna grow up thinking his dad is really white. He's gonna grow up in some other type of custom. He's gonna grow up out here going to a Sunday school, going to some private school. He's gonna grow up in a different type of fashion. And that's pretty much what the Lord did to us. Is he abandoned us and made us go into some other type of ideology. So
That's pretty much the same reason.
yeah, but he had mercy. He had mercy. That's their daddy, and he's gonna get in his child's life now. That's pretty much what it is. Because he's still the father at the end of the day. Yeah. It always makes me remember of the analogy he gave of how if you had a woman, it says if a woman goes and gets with another land, isn't that land going to be greatly polluted? Going into her box. So if she goes and gets to another man, that dude busts all in her, it's just all polluted.
Yeah.
He said, are you going to get back with her? He's like, nah, I ain't going to get back with her. And he said, but you, my nation have done the same thing to me. And I'm still stretching out my hand. So that's an insane amount of mercy because personally me, I wouldn't take back the action that you did that shit to me. Yeah. Not these horror stories about these women out here who they be sleeping with a man, right? I heard when she was sleeping with her man, she told her man, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. She went outside with the other nigga, that nigga busted real quick in her and hit. And here she comes, filled with cum, and she goes and sleeps down with her baby daddy. And baby daddy wakes up, starts eating her out, bro.
Oh God.
He starts eating her out. Starts eating out this other dude's DNA. So, hey, that's wicked as fuck. That's why it says that no wickedness compares to the wickedness of a woman. It says that no wickedness compares to all wickedness is belittled to the wickedness of a woman. That's exactly how it says it. Because these women out here, you can't even call them women. And even back then when they're in the type of right mind, because when I was written, they were still in the right mind. They were out here being modest, acting accordingly, and whoever said that, I think that was in Ecclesiastes, Sirach said that. Whoever said that, he still said their wickedness is nothing. The wickedness going on is nothing but to what the woman does. And the reason I think is because they're ruled off emotion.
Yeah.
They're ruled off emotion, so they're not looking at things logically. So when they feel like they got heartbroken or done dirty, they're going off of feeling. They're saying, damn, this nigga did me so dirty, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, they be creative with it.
Yeah, they be creative with it. And they just keep going off the emotion and the emotion. And the more you feed the emotion, the more that shit grows. So it's a never-ending cycle of just wickedness. It's never gonna stop. Because a man if you get done dirty by a woman, we got a limit because we thinking logically. Oh, she did me dirty, I might do this to her. But it's never like I'm gonna kill the bitch.
Yeah.
That's
But he's
like
emotional.
you hear that? Say your mom's a whore. Cool. But what were you saying?
Not like emotional niggas though.
Oh, the emotional niggas nowadays, they do be doing that shit. Yeah, they're the same as the females. That's why they'll blast you on sight. There's a story I saw how the nigga was talking about. Yeah, he didn't say thank you when I opened the door, so I blasted him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The dude
Without
said,
opening the door?
yeah, the dude opened the door for him, and the other guy, he didn't say thank you to the guy. And he said, the guy blasted him for that. For not saying thank you, so that's the state of society right now. There's a bunch of effeminate, fucking beta males. No backbone. If you were to tell one of these niggas out here, you a pussy, nigga will get offended.
Yeah.
Because the shoe fit. That's something I've always internalized is if somebody calls you something, you react to it, that means it's true.
Yeah.
If that nigga right there, your mom's a whore. Cool. If they offend you, if a nigga calls you gay and you get mad, you're most likely gay.
That's great.
So that's how it's supposed to be. The Lord said that in Babylon, let's pull that scripture. Right. So Jeremiah 51 and 30 says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned their dwelling places. Their bars are broken. And this is going into primarily World War III. Right? When World War III goes down, it says that the men of Babylon, America, they're not going to go fight because they're in this low spirit. Right? The men maybe 200 years ago are not the same ones we have today. And it's for a couple reasons. A main reason people are not going to go fight is because they see the corruption. The corruption that there's no point fighting for America. But just 100 years ago, 50 years ago, you had that patriotism. Oh, America, we're going to win. Those men are not here around anymore. All the soy in the food, all the programming in the television, all the putting the woman on top of the man has just completely destroyed us to the point where, hey, that nigga was saying, I ain't got no aura. I ain't never heard a man say that. I ain't got no aura. That's insane. So that's he's literally telling himself, he ain't got no aura. Because that's like the whole thing about words is like, you believe like what you tell yourself. Like even researchers, scientists have realized that it's like if you say I'm happy, like you're gonna end up being happy. Your mind's like it's programmed. So whatever you feed it. That's why the same thing with the music. What do they do with the music? They put all this murder your brother, right? Commit adultery. They put that on the music. But there's two things. You're listening to it, which if you're strong, you can listen to it. It goes out through one ear and not the other. But they really got us because they make us memorize the lyrics and sing it.
Yeah.
So instead of them saying it, now you're saying your own self. I'm a adulterer. I'm a murderer. I'm a,
Yeah.
You're saying it yourself. So it's really hidden. Your own subconscious is hearing that, saying it yourself, and it's gonna believe it. So that's another trick Satan got on our people is these lyrics. And these bitches saying, I'm a Gucci daddy, Gucci baby, I'm a time. That's just
They clever with it.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So the point, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. they became as women. They have burned her dwelling places, her bars are broken. So the modern day man, American, yeah, pretty much, is like a woman. All emotional, effeminate. And that's just the way it's supposed to be. The Lord said that He was going to create a new thing in the earth. That a woman, get that. That's in Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. It says, How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. So, when you go into that word compass, it goes to run around, like a circle. And that's what women are doing nowadays, is they run around men. And this is a new thing. This was not seen in the ancient world, how women have power over their men, because they're supposed to be under men. That's natural order. But the Lord has, it says that the earth is flipped upside down. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So, righteousness nowadays is considered wicked, and wickedness is considered righteousness. Nowadays, if you say you're not supposed to be a homosexual, they look at you crazy.
Like a big one, when you tell like people something about abortion.
Oh, yeah.
They'll go off on you about that shit.
Yeah. Abortion because it's my body, my choice. What if she got raped? What if she got raped? Is she supposed to keep it? Yes. Yes. Yes, she's supposed to keep it. You know? So they get all emotional with that, but abortion is murder. There's no other way to slice it, dice it.
Yeah.
They try to justify it. And I remember last semester in this philosophy class, we had that topic. The topic came up of abortion. And we had like the main lecture. It was like 100 some people. And then it was like little classes the rest of the week where we separate. And then we talk about what we learned. So the professor, it was like 25 of us in the class, 20. And he'd bring out the point. Abortion. You think we should do it or not? And you go through everyone, and everybody would give their answer. And literally the entire class said no. And he would tell me. And it comes to me, and I was the only one that said yes. Abortion should be illegal because that is murder. And I just left it at that. You know, there's no more justification. It's murder. And I remember I said that, and you could just feel like everybody was like
already against you.
Yeah, you could feel the spirit like turn up. Like I was literally out of everybody. I was the only one that said, nah, you're not supposed to do that shit.
I bet you there was some people there that probably wanted to say that, yeah, but they were afraid to come there that somebody would judge their opinion.
Yeah.
Get on them.
They ain't got no backbone. Just no backbone. Yeah, no backbone. Which ultimately goes back to your morals, right? Because if you were to tell one of these Ishmaelites, these Arabs over there, that same question, almost all of them will tell you, nah, you can't do that shit. That shit's an abomination. Abomination. Because they have morals. Part of their philosophy goes back to Abraham, because Abraham had two sons, Isaac and Ishmael. They go back to Ishmael. So that whole custom of circumcision, the whole custom of not eating pork, goes back to, because we go to say lineage. So let's go to, so women shall compass a man. There's another scripture I learned the other day, but I forgot it. Going into that same topic, how a woman was going to be over the man. I forgot it though. But let's go back to the Deuteronomy. This app's bugging out. Imagine all these guys out here when shit goes down. That's why it says that a man of the Lord, like a man's gonna be like fine gold. A man's gonna be worth more than fine gold. But a man of the Lord, because if that dude we was talking about, he's in that state right now, broken over a ditch. He's in the Heartbreak Hotel. When shit goes down, there's no food, no water. That nigga's gonna be bugged out.
That's why.
Yeah, Jeremiah said that. Now, bro, the scriptures always come to life with the examples, like what we're going through. In Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 5, it says, "For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore, every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned unto paleness." So he said, ask now and see whether men have children. Obviously the answer is no. Men can't have children. And he says, why do I see then every man with his hands on his loins like a woman in travail, like a woman that's pregnant? And then he says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So the reason he was in that fetal position, like a woman having about to give birth, is because he was a bitch. You know, he didn't have the Lord. He was bugged out. No food, no water, no nothing, no knowledge. These niggas are gonna be out here on some GTA 5 dollars, nigga. They're gonna be out here. Remember what happened in the Purge movies, you know?
If they're already like that where they're from, like, you know, say like shooting up motherfuckers for all this, imagine when everything gets worse.
Yeah. So it says that a man was gonna be like a pregnant woman. It's the time of Jacob's trouble. But it says, but he shall be saved out of it. Going into the elect. The elect are gonna be able to make it through whatever goes through. Make it all the way into the end. And that's crazy, make it through famine. So when there's no food, there's no way you gonna find food. No water, no you gonna have water. Imagine, because I was watching a video today. This woman, she said she had a vision. She said that there was like chaos in the entire world, and that she was at her house, and she was telling her family, like, yeah, we gotta get all the food. Let's pack it up. We gotta go. And she said that she asked her husband, like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go? Or are we gonna protect the house? And then she said that her husband said, give me a second to think about it. And when she said that, she started spazzing out, like, bugging out, like, and then she said that she remembered, like, oh, I gotta have patience. And that ultimately, like, she said that she saw her man, like, he was locking in to get that wisdom from the Lord, like, what he was gonna do. Because that's what it's gonna take, is you're gonna need, like, divine intervention to be able to move. So that whole example, like, showed a lot. Like, the man's gonna have to be, like, the stability. He said, hold up, let me lock in and see what I'm gonna do. And this be,
Yeah.
So if you're a man, you're gonna have to deal with these women out here acting all emotional. Because if they tell you, if she's in that mindset, now you got 4, 5, 6 women, and they're under your leadership, you know, and they're gonna be bugging out. It's inevitable. Somebody's gonna bug out and be acting that way. But if you bug out as a man, bro, it's fun. Like, like they need the stability, the rock, the foundation, or else you're just like them. That's what separates us from them, is we're stuck on one type of way of thinking. You know, when your chick is bugging out and this and that, you can't act like your chick. If she's worrying about her problems, you can't get worried also about the problems. You gotta always, we get solutions.
Yeah.
You know? Which a lot of these bitches nowadays don't want solutions. You know, they always come at you with your problems. Oh, this, that, and the third. And when you give them solutions, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, they're ultimately bugged out. But I remember this one guy in the world, this numerologist, he said some shit that was actually wise. He said, men, when a man wants in a woman is purity, or men, how do you say it? When a man wants in a woman is purity, and when a woman admires in a man is wisdom. Because wisdom, a woman, she wants to be led. And if you have wisdom, you're going to know how to do that. And the ultimate form of wisdom is the scriptures. Everything in the world and how people act and conduct themselves goes back to what the scriptures say. Because when they talk about how being stoic, all that stoicism from the Greeks goes back to the scriptures. A lot of those stoics were actually Israelites that were writing all those things. So everything always goes back to what the Bible says. It's the original. You know, that's the reason it's the most selling book, highest selling book, still to this day. The Bible is the most accurate history book ever written. Most accurate. But let's go back to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 20 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So it said that we as a people, we're going to be an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. So people are supposed to look at us and be astonished, look down upon us like, what the fuck? Like, look at the state of these people. You know, we're supposed to be a proverb. A byword is being called by a name that's not yours. So nowadays, nigger, wetback, spit, black, beaner, all those are bywords. But ultimately, we're Israelites. They don't call us that. So we're supposed to be looked at as nothing. That's part of the curses. You know, if you got the nigger woman, if the nigger woman goes over there to the east, she'll look down as nothing. She's looked at as a prostitute. Because that's actually what she is. It's a prostitute. But even if you got a Jake that, you know, he act accordingly, over there they'll still look at him as a nigger. You know, because our people as a collective, the majority is the example. You know, people always talk about, you always say, oh, but that's the exception. You know, the exception. The majority is what people see. So nowadays, majority of bitches are wicked, you know. So that's how people are gonna see women, the American women.
Yeah, Western.
But even with that, you still gotta like, even in the scripture, you gotta like a woman out there. Scriptures talk about how 1/3 of the nation of Israel is gonna be saved, and that's women and children. So there's gonna be females out here that are supposed to get with brothers, and she's gonna be saved by you. You know. So that's just the way it's set up. You know. That because I remember a brother said that the brother from Chicago, they call him the Big Murph or Murph or something like that. He always talk about I never set eyes on the black dude. I never get with the black dude. But he also does say, for you brothers out there, you gotta also understand that some black women are set up with brothers to be safe.
Yeah.
So it's a balance in everything. That's the Lord's will. Everybody gotta pray for that.
Yeah.
It says that, yeah, that's about it. Verse 38, thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine, nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. And it made me think of Haggai, because majority of our people are broke, always talking about living paycheck to paycheck. That's what it says. Verse 6, it says, ye have sown much, but bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. So, yeah, so you're making all this money, you're sowing a lot, but it's like if you're putting it with a bag with holes, it's just going, just dropping out. Yeah, you're just losing it instantly. That's the modern day of this society is, you go to work, and all of a sudden you got a light bill. Hold up, I thought light was free. You know, electricity bill. You got a water bill. You got a rent. You gotta pay rent. You know, you gotta pay for a food. You gotta, and there's just the amount of things you gotta pay. It just gets to a point where it's almost unlivable. You got people working 3 jobs to even sustain themselves. Videos of Edomites. I remember seeing videos of Edomites talking about, I don't know what the fuck's the point of living anymore.
Yeah,
I'm working 3 jobs. You know, this is slavery. This is not living. You know. And what they're realizing is that what's happening is that, hold up, the same way what you're thinking right now, our people have been going through that the entire time. It's just that now the curses are falling upon them.
Yeah, the own people are doing the dirty.
Nah, it says that in Deuteronomy, I think it's 30. Right. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7 it says, "And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So there's going to be a point where the curses that we have were also going to fall on our enemies. So the same way the nigger woman was a whore, now the Edomite woman is becoming a whore. The same way we were living paycheck to paycheck, now we're living paycheck to paycheck. Because the curses are transferring. You know, as we're going up, they're going down. Because slowly but surely, there's Israelites awakening everywhere, becoming more righteous. But ultimately, they're on the decline. Because as this place gets wicked, the Edomites, all these other nations are going to get more wicked. But the elect are going to be unmovable. 1/3 of the nation of Israel. That's a giant percentage. It says that Israel is as the sand of the sea. And you can't count the sand of the sea. So, out of 8 billion people, I estimate there's at least 1 billion Israelites. Like there has to be a fuck ton. If you can't count the sand. So, the curses are falling upon our enemies, and we're seeing it in live effect. Also says in the scriptures that the wicked, their own tongue, was going to fall upon themselves. So you're going to have Edomites announcing the corruption of their own empire. You have Edomites talking about how, yeah, the WEF, oh yeah, the wickedness going on. The Edomites bringing out information, inside information about what's going on. But this is their empire. And ultimately what happened is that because the Edomites right now, it's the rulership, their kingdom. But what happened is that Amalek, which is the Jewish, those in the Holy Land, they hogged the blessing for themselves. You know, they are the ones that are truly prospering this empire. So they are the ones that own everything. But the modern day Edomite in America, they don't got a blessing. You know, the Amalekites, which Amalek was the grandson of Esau, still Edomites, they hog the blessing. And these modern day Edomites, they're realizing that. They have hatred for their own people. So that goes to show the wicked, the way they act. Because if you have a nation of people and you're prospering, the only logical thing to do is help your people out.
Yeah.
Right? But what they do with the money, instead of helping the American veterans here that are homeless, they send that shit to Ukraine, send it to Israel, to just be waste $1 million in 15 seconds on a missile. But $1 million here could have fed the whole damn block, you know, whole city. But that's the wicked, you know, they have no understanding. It says that from the womb they go forth speaking lies. They are estranged from the womb. They go forth speaking lies. So as soon as they are born, they are already wicked. You know, lying. It says that Esau's blessing was to live by the sword. So taking everything by force, that's all they know how to do. And America was a key example. You know, they could have came, had a peace with our people, but what they do is sword. That's all they know how to do. That's a blessing. Yeah. Imagine that. If you had Esau came over here, and if they were truly righteous, they would just have peace, figure things out, you know, live together. But not. It says that they can never get enough. That says that in Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 2, and verse 5, it says, "Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, that he is going into these Edomites." It says they transgress by wine. You know what wine means? What's the wine talking about?
Not sure.
Philosophy. Like a scripture for that is it says that all nations have drunk of the wine of her fornication.
That's what America's philosophy.
Yeah, America's philosophy. That's how these Edomites transgress is through their philosophy. It's wicked. It says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So these group of people, these Edomites, it's never enough of them. They always want to get more and more and more. It says that they gather all nations. That's why you see them going unto all nations, trying to instill their line, the philosophy. Call it Americanization, or Westernization. And if you go to China now, you got like 10 McDonald's. You know, that's the Westernization, which is ultimately poisoning that thing. There's this thing in Africa, I think it was in Africa, where they brought KFCs over there. And KFC, at first, it would seem like a delicacy because it was expensive, right? Only the rich could eat KFC. So what happened is that all the rich, they'd go and eat KFC every single day because it would seem like a flex. But what they started realizing is that, hold up, all these people, why are people all of a sudden dropping dead with cardiovascular problems? You know, they're having heart attacks. They're getting obese. And they realized it was that damn KFC that they were eating. You know, that shit was fucking them up. So, all these rich people eating KFC, it was ultimately their own demise. And they realized that, nah, we can't eat that shit no more. It's just killing us. Yeah, so that's that wine. You know, the philosophy, the American way, that's just destructive. And when you go to Jeremiah, it says that they have drunk of the wine, therefore the nations are mad. Because they're realizing this shit don't work.
Yeah.
Once that you bring that Americanization, the boys are trying to become homosexuals, their daughters are becoming thoughts, trying to shake ass like Sexy Red, like Cardi B, you know, talking about sucking dick. They don't want that shit. Imagine the little girl out here with a hijab twerking. Bro, I feel like that's insanity, bro. So that's the mess that they're in. And you've had these all these nations, they know that. At the end, it said that all nations, every single nation, is going to turn and burn this place with fire. Let's get that in Revelation 17. Let me actually read this verse. Because of what I was just saying, all the nations, verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him. So all these nations that they're doing this to, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth of that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now when you go into that word thick clay, it's the Hebrew word for it. It says ibatia, which it means heavy debts, a lot of debt. So it says that these people, they cover themselves with a lot of debt. And you look at the American debt clock, it's like 33 trillion.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
34 trillion. Because they take, and they never give back. So, our nations, it says we're going to give a proverb, a taunting proverb against this place because of the way they operate. The main problem is America. That's the problem of the world right now, is America. But Revelation 17, when you go to Revelation 17, it talks about the 10 horns. Have you gone to that breakdown?
You were thinking about for me, but
The 10 horns goes into NATO and EU. And the 7 heads, because it says that John saw a vision of a dragon, a red dragon, with a whore on top, talking about America. And that whore was driving, or pretty much maneuvering, a dragon, red dragon, with 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads, symbolic for the 7 empires of the Edomites. So you had the Greeks, the Romans, the Spaniards, the French, the Italians, was it like that? Those the Greeks, the Romans. It was like Germania Major, Germania Minor, French, Spaniards, and the English. think that's 7. I think that was 7 if I remember correctly. But those were the 7 major empires of the Edomites. And then the 10 horns going into NATO and EU. Because NATO actually started from 10 countries. So it started with 10, but it ended up being now like, fuck 10, 60 something. But it started with 10. But it says at the end of this chapter, and also the point is that that woman, the whore, was riding that beast. Going into America is the one that controls all of this. But verse 16 it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So, that great city, Babylon, reigns over the kings of the earth, all these other nations. But those 10 horns are going to turn and burn that horn with fire, talking about America, which is going to happen with nukes. Because it says that in 1 hour, this place is going to be burnt with fire. You can't do that by the normal ding, 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 you know, or fucking shooting arrows. That shit's going to happen with nukes. But I haven't read this in a minute. I actually might redo this video because there's a lot of fire, a lot of sauce in this chapter. Verse 12 it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Going into how those 10 kings made with EU, right? They're not an entire kingdom because they're just like allies. But they have power with the beast because they also influence. Because NATO pretty much is they all get together and they all talk about what they're gonna do. But America is the end all say so. Like they're the ones that really say what's gonna happen. A key example is you had I think it was like not too long ago, they're trying to do a ceasefire from Israel and Palestine. And you had all these NATO members say yes, ceasefire, yes, ceasefire. And guess who was one of those countries to say no ceasefire?
Was it Israel and America?
Yeah. Israel and America were the only ones that said no ceasefire. And there wasn't a ceasefire because those two said no. So there's somebody saying, you want to know who's in power? Look at the people you can't criticize. So it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, they receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So the same thing we talk about. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. So going into how that beast was going to fight with the Lamb. And that's what it talks about. Michael with his angels are going to fight with Satan and his angels in heaven. Remember that?
Yeah.
Going into these nations are going to fight with the Lord when he comes back. 2nd Ezra 13, same thing. How they're all going to be fighting World War III, and then the Lord's going to come back, and they're all going to fight against him.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about the scriptures is it doesn't just say it one time. You know, it says it multiple times, like multiple people said in different ways. You know, so Jeremiah talked about the nuclear destruction. He referred to it in Jeremiah 50 as all these nations getting together in battle array and shooting arrows onto this place. So he said it that way. Then Isaiah said it in the way of the scroll rolling together, and that the mountains and the islands were moved out of their place. And also in Isaiah he said that this one that's coming, where all wars were fought with breaking arms and chopping hands, but this one that's going to be fought is going to be with fuel and burning with fire. You know, Ezekiel said, what did Ezekiel say? What did he say? Ezekiel talks about it in 38. Talks about Gog and Magog being a shield, a shield to Iran, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, and that they're all going to go to Israel and destroy that land. But after, they're going to have an evil thought while they're doing that, and they're going to go into the land of Unwa villages, going into America. Remember why it's called the land of Unwa villages? Because America has 51 states, villages, but there's no walls between them.
Unwa villages.
Unwa villages. Yeah. So it's talking about this place, because that's the order. Israel gets destroyed, then they come over here. So Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel said it, Zechariah said it, where this is the plague that the Lord shall send upon the people. They shall burn, their eyes shall consume away while they're standing, their tongue shall consume away in their mouth, going into how they're going to be vaporized. So all these prophets spoke about the same thing, but they broke it down differently. But it's the same account, the same vision. That's the ultimate proof. Because how can you explain that without a higher power? You know, they all wrote the same thing at different times, but they all saw the same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Like there's a picture of all the connections. They showed all the connections of the Quran, and there's like,
I remember you showed me that video.
and then all the connections of the Bible is like
Yeah, it's like
insane. Yeah, like strings. Because everything goes together. That's why it says that the spirit is as living waters. Because that could be talking about this, and oh, it made me think about this, and that one made me think about that one, and that one, and that. It never ends. You know, if you have the knowledge, the spirit is going to guide you, like never endlessly. I could be out here talking about this, 4, 5, 6 hours, if I just go through the spirit and the scriptures pull out. You know, it's never something like. Sometimes I try and I got some scriptures I want to follow, but it's like I always jump. It's inevitable I jump from like point to point because it paints the bigger picture. So I was gonna get some, but I forgot what it was. Yeah. That's why sometimes I need to jump, because sometimes I lose the spirit if I don't jump. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about nukes, and that shit led to do something with beast
The beast?
and NATO, miracle,
Nukes.
like wine. Because, you know, everybody's doing what America's doing off our philosophy and shit.
There's one chapter I wanted to get. I'm probably not gonna remember it now. Let's see where we're at. Revelation 17. Oh, I was gonna get how they jump in and all those prophets, and they all spoke the same thing. And earlier I said how you don't know who you're talking to in the spirit, because it said that the prophets were gonna come back, like Daniel, chapter 12, last chapter, last verse. It says, verse 13, the angel told Daniel, it says, but go thou thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. So it says, the angel told Daniel, but go thou thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. So Daniel was going to pass away, he was going to rest, but he was going to come back and stand in his lot at the end of the days. Because he was going to reincarnate and prophesy again. That was his lot, as a prophet. So this proves reincarnation, that Daniel, they got to be one of the brothers doing the work. Because, hey, the only people that are out here on the highways and byways, as the scriptures told us to do, prophesying, going into the prophecies, are the men of great Muslim and those that have the same doctrine. Those are the only people on the entire earth doing this. Christianity, they ain't going into the prophecies, they're dancing. Roman Catholicism, they don't got the prophecies. They don't even know how to break this down. So Daniel would have to be one of the brothers, somewhere on the earth, prophesying, doing the work. Same thing, they told the same thing to John. In Revelation 11, Revelation chapter, I think it's Revelation chapter 10, and I'll start at verse 8. It says, "And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea, and open the earth. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey." You remember what that means?
Read that again.
And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey.
Sounds familiar, but
That little book was going to the Bible. And he said that the angel told John, take that little book and eat it. Went into how you gotta read it up. You gotta read the entire Bible first. And it says that it was gonna be in his mouth sweet as honey, and then it was gonna turn bitter. Right? Because when you first hear the truth, right, everything sounds sweet. Oh, at the end of the day, you become immortal. At the end of the day, you know, when you see the kingdom and all these blessings. But once you start digesting it and know what's really happening, knowing that you're gonna go through trials and tribulations, you're gonna go through hell, it becomes bitter. You know? So that's what he was talking about. It says, "And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter." When he fully digested it, he understood what's going on. This shit was bitter. This shit ain't easy. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. And the angel told this to John. But when John had these revelations, he was in the island of Patmos, where he died as a slave. He died as a slave working in the gold mines, or the iron mines, coal mine. It was one of them. It was a mine where he was stuck as just working there. And that's where he had these revelations. And there's no history account of where he went to prophesy. He died there. So what it's talking about is he was going to come back and do the work again. He was going to prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Same thing that the angel told Daniel. He was going to stand in thy lot at the end of the days. So John and Daniel are going to be one of the brothers. They have been here doing the work in America somewhere. And ultimately it has to be one of the higher level brothers, because Daniel had followers, you know, John had followers, so they're going to have more influence, you know. That's how I would understand it. They would have to be one of the top brothers. But reincarnation. You remember? You know how Shai talked about reincarnation? Yeah, he said. Let's get that in there. Matthew chapter 17. In verse 10 it says, "And his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them." Then the disciples understood, and he spake unto them of John the Baptist. So they said that, hold up, the scribes say that Elias is supposed to come. Yahushua said, yeah, he's already come, you just didn't know him. And then they understood that Elias was John the Baptist. That's how he came back, was through John. And it tells you right there, you know, that's clear as day. Reincarnation. He also said it in another place. think it says ears. What are y'all doing out there? Right. Other places said it. And verse 11, Matthew 11 says, Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of woman, there is not risen a greater than John the Baptist, notwithstanding that he is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets in the law prophesied unto John, and if you will receive it, this is Elias which was going to come. Then he said, if he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. So if you got ears to hear that shit. But that's who wants to come. Elias is done. So there's multiple ways to prove that reincarnation. Right? Even Yahushua talks about it. It's just that nowadays
Christians will still deny that reincarnation is real. They'll say it's like food.
yeah. But the Bible talks about reincarnation. And ultimately, if they agree that reincarnation is real, that means that their hell doctrine goes out the window.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because you can't be in hell burning forever and also reincarnate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's either you believe in hell or reincarnation. We just read like 4 scriptures proving reincarnation. And the hell, one thing when they talk about hell, you know what hell means? Remember what hell means? There's 2 definitions.
Like a hellish state was one of them.
Yeah.
Like you're living in a hellish state. And then I don't remember the other one.
The grave.
Grave?
It means the grave or a low condition. So somebody could say, oh, he's in hell. It mean he's going through some shit or he's underground, like he's just dead. They dug him down.
Yeah.
That's all it means. But when they misunderstand hell, because there's a scripture in Revelation where it talks about how they were thrown into the lake of fire. And they put that with hell, which the lake of fire, that was the password thing, you see? That's the thing that came here one time. The lake of fire is talking about America being on fire by the way of those nukes. That's what it was talking about. That's the context. But they see lake of fire burning eternal brimstone, because it says that those are going to be thrown in the lake of fire and going to burn for eternal, for a long time or something like that. I think it's talking about hell. But the fact is like, if you say now, damn, he's going to be in there forever. Like let's say somebody goes to prison for 90 years. So he's going to be in there forever. He's not going to be in there forever. He's going to be in there for a long time. So it's the same thing with here. This place is going to burn forever. It's going to be burning. Imagine nukes dropping here, all of America being on fire. There's no fire extinguishers. It's going to just die. It's going to die down by itself. And it's going to take a long time. So that's what the lake of fire was going into. But they don't got the understanding. That's why it says that the Lord, Amos 3, I forgot how it said exactly. Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. Something like that. Yeah. Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So, only the prophets are supposed to have the secrets of the Bible. That's why it says, Revelation 14, that the 144,000 were the only ones that could sing that song. Only ones that could break down the prophecies, the secrets. They're the only ones that could do that. So, that's why people can't get the understanding of the Bible. It's codified. It's written for you to stumble. If you you might have the greatest desire. All these scholars, they look into the Bible, and they just stumble over at some point because they just aren't chosen to understand it. They ain't prophets. But and a big reason why the scholars don't get it, like if you were to go, there's a website called the Bible Hub, which you can go in the commentaries. You have all these scholars. It says like Cambridge, Harvard, all these scholars from all these schools. But they go into, if you want to go like say Matthew 11, or you want to go into Revelation 11 and get the understanding of that scripture, they'll like break it down. You know, they have their breakdowns. But every single scholar, their breakdowns, they don't deal with prophecy. Other breakdowns, they don't deal with prophecy, any future prophecy. When they go to Babylon, they say, oh, let's talk about ancient Babylon. And they try to find some connection about how it's on fire. And because they don't deal with the future prophecy, that's where they just don't have that understanding. There are some people, some Edomites that do get it though. They understand Babylon, it's talking about America. There's some pastors that actually say that. I've seen it. Christian pastors talking about how Babylon's America. But when it goes to breaking down the other things, they just don't know what they're talking about. You know, they have a little bit, not the whole. They beat a little bit of the road, but not the whole road. But we'll leave it at that. With that, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim, Takodash. Double honors to the other bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to life. Shalom.